I'm pretty sure if you follow the news, whether you are an active investor in the market or no, you have heard about maybe a recession is on the way, maybe a stagflation is on the way, but the economy is headed towards a bad place, all right? And it's causing a lot of fear, which ultimately is also, what we're experiencing in the market, at least since the beginning of this year. Now, the question is, should you stop investing? No, because right now is the time to even be more aggressive, but in a smart way. All right, because what used to work in 2020, when a monkey could have thrown a banana in a wall or at a stock, that stock would have gained and made a lot of money because the market was in such a bull run that we've never seen before, coming out of the pandemic crash, the COVID crash in the midst of March 2020. Right now, things are changing because the economy is changing, because the environment of interest rates is changing. And those two alone, plus a war that we're having in Ukraine, it's causing unintended consequences that are also weighing a lot on the risk of what the economy might do in the next 6 months, 6 to 12 months. So it's causing a lot of pain right now, as in the economy. So whether you're a consumer or an investor, you are in a lot of pain, right? Now, if we follow one of the biggest investors in the world, Warren Buffett, when people are fearful, like right now, this is the right time to be aggressive, to be greedy. Why? Because the best time to invest was yesterday. The best time to invest was yesterday in some stocks, all right? But because things are changing, we have to also change our approach, which means the other best time to change to invest is right now, because you can't go back in the future and you can know what is coming in the future. But what we do know is for sure what is causing the market to be puking or in pain right now will go away. It will not stay here forever. It will smooth out. It will settle down. Inflation will come back down at some point. We don't know yet, but it will come back down. The war in Ukraine will also have to settle down. Price increase in oil and commodity will have also to settle down. So all of these risk in the market will have to settle down. The only question is when. But because you don't know that when, you want to buy right here. You want to make sure you are investing right here, so that when everything starts going up, that's how you build your wealth. That's why you increase your assets. That's why you increase your money. But because things are changing and are not the way they were to last year and the year before last year, you have to be a lot more selective. And by selective, I mean picking your stocks, picking your assets, picking your investments, the companies in which you want to be investing. So my strategy, in order to have the best strategy investing in a recession, if we end up being in a recession, it's not 0% no or 0% yes. It's in between. Because it's in between, I'm being selective because right now inflation is still high, and in times of recession, you want to make sure you are investing your money with companies or in companies that have a price power. Price power means it doesn't matter if prices are increasing or decreasing, they will still make a lot of money. They will still be at least maintaining the same level of earnings. All right. So you want to look for companies with an earnings growth or stabilization potential in the next outlook. How to find those companies? Just look at what is expensive right now. What is expensive? Everything. But what is causing everything to be expensive? Oil. Because oil and energy is expensive, I want to buy into companies producing oil because they will make a lot more money at these prices. All right? And this is what I've been doing for the last, 2 years now. Just like literally 3 weeks ago, when the market puked, in May, I bought a stock at 45, and right now it's sitting at 63. So almost a 25% in just a matter of a month, less than a month. There are other stocks that I bought, around 57, and yesterday they hit 80. $80. That is 40 or 35% gain. So in just 3 weeks, because the market tends to overreact. And when the market overreacts, it's like you're throwing the bathwater with the baby in it. So you're throwing and puking on all the good and the bad companies when the good companies will ultimately, thrive. So that is an example, right? Another thing, you want to also look at companies that are pricey, or I mean are cheap for now. And by cheap, I don't mean the price has decreased. By cheap, I mean cheap in terms of valuations. What are the companies that are worth a lot more than the share price action is looking right now? Another example is energy, because when you look at the price to earnings, like when you look at how much money these companies are making, and you're looking at the equivalent, the translation into the price action of the share, energy stocks have the lowest price to earnings ratio in the entire market. So again, energy is the best play. But you want to also look at companies that it doesn't matter what, they will always make money in terms of inflation, recession, or bull, like Apple, like Microsoft. Those companies sell stuff that we use on a daily basis. All right. You want to also look at companies producing maybe wet fertilizers, because we are looking at a food in a crisis, an energy crisis based on what is happening back in Ukraine. So the bottom line is you want to make sure you're investing in companies where the earnings are going to continue to grow, because earnings growing means the company is growing, means more money back in the pockets of investors, especially in the form of dividends. And that means the price ultimately will continue to grow. And that's how you are not only protecting your money, from getting eaten out by inflation, but it's also growing in times where, the economy might be slowing down, or the economy might be in a recession. So hopefully you will take advantage of this. So if you had value in this, please consider giving me a thumbs up. And if you're not new to the channel, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.